There's a misconception that we don't exist, that somehow our ability to excel at the highest level of our industry is limited, that overcoming barriers as a woman of color would be insurmountable. But what would happen if we decided to venture out on our own despite everything we're up against? I'll tell you. Welcome to the Black Girls Consult 2 podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Angelina Davis, a healthcare consultant, consulting coach, high performance fanatic, wife, and proud girl mom. I help transform female professionals into thriving solo consultants. And just like you, I'm wearing all the hats and doing all the things. So this podcast is to empower the busy female professionals to move past fear to start and grow a successful consulting business, despite the obstacles you may encounter. We'll dive deep into consulting practice, business strategy, mindset, and more. So grab your cup of coffee or tea if that's your thing, and let's get started. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Black Girls Consult 2 podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Angelina Davis. And if you're new here, then welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're tuning back in for another week, as always, I am so happy that you are joining in on the conversation today. And I hope it's going to be a good one. I want to talk a little bit about how we can actually attract and land more clients using a high value attraction strategy. But before we get into all of that, I do want to let you know that open enrollment for Position to Excel is right around the corner. So if you're new here, let me tell you a little bit about what Position to Excel is and why this is such a huge deal. So Position to Excel was created for the busy and ambitious woman who is ready to build and grow her consulting business and wants to remove all of the interference that's in her way so that she can take her business to the next level by positioning her services more effectively to sell with ease. And one of the ways that we do this, or the way that we do this, is by creating a magnetic offer that truly allows you to attract the clients that you want to serve, the ones that you are dying to work with, and those who actually see the value in the services that you offer, so you can radically simplify your business model and then build a personal brand that feels true to who you are so that you're established as a thought leader in your space. Let's be honest, that thought leadership is what will allow you to command higher rates because you stand out in your field, in your industry as that trusted advisor. And last but not least, it positions you to sell using a high value attraction strategy that we're going to talk about today that has a strong digital marketing foundation that allows you yourself to create the opportunities that you need to land more clients and to build your business and generate more revenue. This is going to allow you to take control of your business. And with that control in your hands, you're able to build the life that you desire, the life that you want, and the life that you deserve. So if you're interested, what I want you to do is to click the link in the description and join the wait list. Open enrollment is around the corner. As a matter of fact, open enrollment starts on November 7th, but we all know that good things come to those who wait. And so if you, I know that may be a little bit corny, but hey, so if you are interested, definitely join the wait list so you can be first to know and actually be part of the group that is able to take advantage of possibly some other options that may be on the table to that group. But then also, if you're just flat out interested in enrolling, November 7th, open enrollment starts. Get your application in. I open this enrollment quarterly. And this is actually a good time of the year because one of the things that we're able to do this time around in this cohort is we are going to bridge this over into the new year. So instead of you having to start the new year and go, 2-3 months in a building process and lose out on one of the most profitable quarters of that year, you're able to begin building that foundation at the end of 2022 and then move into the next year, into January, with the continued support of the program. And that can make all the difference in the world and you're being able to get things off the ground and moving a lot faster and swifter so that you really do have the runway to launch your service, your renewed, revamped service in a way that allows you to maximally make gains throughout this next year, through the upcoming year. And because we know how crucial time is. You don't want to waste your time trying to DIY everything yourself. Let's just use the roadmap, get there a lot faster, and really achieve the results that we all know that you're capable of. So I hope to see you inside. But with all that behind us, I'm ready to get started because I want to talk about how you can begin to attract more clients with a high value attraction strategy. This is also the strategy that is used in the Position to Excel program. So it gives you a little bit of taste of what it would be like when it comes to creating your formal sales pipeline and sales process so that you're able to sell your services with more ease. And so if you're interested and ready to hear this podcast episode, let's get started. All right. So one of the biggest challenges many of us have, especially starting out, is how do I find clients? How do I attract the people that I want to work with? And definitely, how do I make the sale? How do I go through this entire process? And because that seems so overwhelming, there's so many moving pieces. Even when you think about being in a larger business or organization, typically there is a marketing department, there's a sales department. There are others who may be doing a lot of other background or groundwork. And so when you're thinking about this whole aspect of business development and business building, then it is overwhelming when you are trying to do this on your own or with a very small team. So, one of the ways that we're able to navigate this more effectively is by relying on referrals, right? That's one of the reasons why it's one of the easiest ways to get started, because it does alleviate the need for a lot of this additional work. But we are thinking much bigger than just a couple of, clients here or there. I know that you want a lot more, because I know you want a lot more. I know you're trying to build this boutique firm, or you're trying to establish yourself as a well-known, consultant in your space, speaker, author. You're doing big things. I know that you are going to have to expand beyond just relying on referrals. And so that is why the high value attraction strategy is so helpful, because it simplifies the process of trying to piece all of these different components together. Let's be honest, it's just really noisy in the marketplace in general. From TV to podcasts to social media. I mean, no matter where you turn, everyone is communicating a different message, is selling a different offer. And to your potential client, all of that noise is overwhelming. So they tune most of it out. And because they are tuning most of it out, when we're starting our consulting businesses, it's hard for us to be seen and heard, mainly because of the noise in the marketplace, but then also because it's difficult to capture the attention of the clients that we want to serve, because they are also protecting themselves and creating boundaries for themselves so they are not overwhelmed by the level of the noise that they are constantly forced to take in day after day after day. So we have to be smart and think about how can we really, navigate their journey, the client journey, more effectively so that we can just meet them along the path. One of the things that I found to be really helpful in my practice over the years is moving from a focus on specific marketing tactics or techniques and sales tactics and techniques, and focusing on the interaction and the journey that the client is having. And this is what I like to term as being very client focused and client centered. When we're able to stay in that mode of thinking, then it's easier for us to identify ways where we can communicate our message, where we can create those types of relationships that we need in order to land the business that we want. So I want to walk you through what a high value attraction strategy actually is and what it looks like to move a potential client through this process. So there are three components to a high value attraction strategy. There is your content, connection, and conversation. So these are the 3 C's. I feel like everyone has the 3 C's in some sort of framework, but this was developed based upon the experiences that I have had, helped clients through, and seen work over the years as a healthcare consultant, and then also in my business. And one thing that I know to be true is that no matter what aspect of consulting you are in, your ability to communicate your thoughts, share insights, spread ideas, shift perspectives, that is essential to the work that you're doing. And so because of that, content, the first C, becomes extremely important. Content, I want you to think about content not as just social media content. Oh, I need to make a post. I need to, put up some type of a blog or do a live on Instagram or on LinkedIn. That's not exactly what I'm talking about. When I'm speaking to content here, what I am referring to is creating your catalog of work, creating that foundational work that really allows someone to get a glimpse into your beliefs, your core values, and the way that you see your world or see the world around you. Meaning that the way that you see your industry evolving, the way that you see the job market changing in your industry or in your field, the way you see people navigating that industry in the future, how you can help them along that path, the things that you believe and hold to be true as values in that space. Those are the things that are going to be reflective in the content that you are creating and that I'm talking about. And so this is something that shouldn't change, right? This is the one thing I want to point out. This is not about trying on or testing out new trends and new ways of doing things. This is really creating a foundation of content that reflects your thought leadership in the work that you desire to do in the world. And once this is established and created, then you're able to pull from this to create these other forms of content and marketing pieces that you're going to put out there, whether it's on your website or in a blog or on social media. It makes the process a lot easier because you're not creating new messages. You're reframing the foundational messages that are true to your work in different ways so that you can communicate with your audience. But you know exactly what you're going to say. You know exactly what you're going to talk about. You know exactly how you see the world because that foundation has been laid. It has been created. And, of course, you're going to evolve that over time as you learn and as you grow. But that work is think about it as your catalog of work that you are creating as a thought leader in that space. So this is the type of content that I'm discussing. And really, when you think about it, most people that are highly successful in the consulting industry have done this. No matter who you look at or who you think about in whatever area or field that you're in, whether it's a Jay Abraham or whether it is someone such as Alan Weiss or any of the others, everyone has their content or catalog of work, and they may put that out and publish it eventually as books. They may establish frameworks that we go on to use throughout the industry. I'm thinking about like with regards to strategy, especially for decades and decades to come, but those things are compiled to stand the test of time. They're not meant to be fleeting. They're not meant to be short-lived. And so this is one huge component of your content creation. I want you to start thinking about your content, the catalog of your work differently. And so that is one of the first things. Your first C is creating that ability to share your insight, ideas, and perspectives by creating that catalog of your work. So the content. Now, the second piece of this puzzle is connection. It is hard for people to connect with ideas alone. So they may relate to the idea, they may understand the idea, they may even find the idea to be very insightful, but they don't feel truly connected, emotionally connected to an idea. The thing that people are connected to is another person, another human experience. And so it allows you through the connection process to humanize your expertise, to make your impact, the impact that results from the knowledge that you hold, the expertise that you hold, it allows that impact to be felt. And when that impact is felt, when people begin to see you and look at you as being this trusted advisor in that space, that person that they go to for insight, because you are thoughtful, because you are empathetic, because you are caring, because you are nurturing, because you are fill in the blank, whatever you desire to be and hold true as your authentic self, then that makes your content, the first C, more powerful. Because then your ideas can spread. They're spreading not just because the idea was a good idea, but it's also spreading because people have a connection to it. They feel emotionally tied to the message that you're putting out. And so if you are able to take your catalog of work and then build the connection to your audience that allows that message to catch fire, then you're talking about that's where the growth really begins. It opens the door to the third C. It opens the door to more conversation. So conversation is key. You cannot have sales without conversation. You will not land the clients that you want to serve in the number that you need in order to make your business profitable without conversation. Conversation opens the door to effective sales. It establishes a human-to-human interaction that then can lead to conversion. But if you don't open the door to this conversation, if you don't build that connection to open the door to that conversation, it's going to be extremely hard for you to sell your services, for you to take someone from being a prospect to being a paid client. That journey is going to be extremely difficult because along that journey, you have to establish a human-to-human connection that then opens the door for that conversation. And one thing that you'll learn is that sales overall is simply a conversation. It's about you being able to actively listen and learn from the clients that, or the potential clients that you wish to serve, and being able to speak to their needs, speak to their wants in a way that resonates with them and allows them to see their future self and believe that that is possible. So those are things that all come through the conversation process. And that is what actually makes your sales a lot easier, because the one thing that you're going to be using is the digital space to really build this out, mainly because that gives you the ability to reach more people. You know, it comes down to a numbers game to some extent when it comes to marketing and sales. We all know this because we have an idea of what a sales funnel looks like. You know, that's the inverted triangle or pyramid, where people funnel from the point of being attracted to your service or to your offer, and then funneling down to the conversion, where you have only a small number of people who are ready to move and take the next step. Well, in order for you to get more people at the bottom of the funnel, you got to put more people inside. That's pretty much how it works. So you have to have a process that's going to allow you to attract more and more leads, but you want those people to be aligned with your work, with your services, with your thoughts and ideas, so that when you get to the conversion phase, to this conversation phase, that you don't have a lot of people that you're losing because they're not qualified or you had other leaks along that funnel. So really think about a high value attraction strategy as having three parts: content, connection, and conversation. And then what we're going to do now is just walk through just briefly, step by step, what that looks like from the point of being able to attract in potential clients to the point of conversion, and really moving that to a paid client consultant relationship. So what does the process look like if you're using a high value attraction strategy? It's typically going to be a 5-step process. And so, when you're thinking about this process, I want you to just know that we're going to cover this in a very high level. But of course, in Position to Excel, we dive much, much deeper into exactly how you implement this and carry this out in a very simple way so that you're able to move through each of the steps very effectively. Now, the first step is educate. So education is super important. You know, there was a time where if you were trying to build any service, any business online, especially, you are able to easily do that by generating or creating how-to content. And the reason why how-to content works so well is because we all have a desire, an internal desire to learn more, and we're looking for answers to the problems that we have. Remember, consulting is all about critical thinking and problem solving and finding solutions. So education is going to be a key component of that. But now we know we can't rely on just how-to education. And you don't want to rely on that solely anyway, because if you are truly an expert in your space, if you're a thought leader in your space, you're going to be able to share far more than just how-to content. You're going to have to educate your audience of the need that exists in your market or your industry. You're going to have to share how they can overcome obstacles. You're going to have to let them see what it looks like to get to the other side of their problems. You're going to have to give them hope as they look into the future. There is a lot that you will need to educate them on. And we want to do that from the standpoint of working them or navigating through the client journey, allowing ourselves to be that guide, that lead, the person that is helping them navigate the path to their eventual success. And that takes a very thoughtful process in terms of how you're building your educational content, the information and the messages that you're putting out there, so that you're able to, number one, create a level of demand for the services that you offer, but then also generate a level of brand awareness so people know that you actually have a solution that can help them. So all of that is an essential part of the education step. Now, from education, we move to showcase. And I know you're probably wondering, like, what in the world is showcase? So remember I told you before in the whole connection phase that in order for you to really create an emotional connection between your expertise and the client's needs and wants and desires, it requires a level of emotional connection that leads to the eventual sale. Now, this is something that is oftentimes really easy to see and understand when we're talking about product-based businesses. But remember, you still have a product, right? Your product is your expertise. It's an intangible product. It's something that you cannot see, feel, touch. And so what you have to think about doing is, how do you take your service, your knowledge, your expertise that is seen as intangible and create a tangible feeling, or a feeling that's similar to someone that is selling a tangible result. And we do that by allowing people to feel the impact of the work that we're doing. And one of the ways that we've done this in the past, over the years in the consulting industry, is really by having discovery offers. A discovery offer was created and still is created. I believe strongly in using discovery offers. But a discovery offer is created to allow the person to feel the impact of your work and see the possibility of the results that they can attain without making the full investment. So it is a way for you to decrease risk and increase trust. Decrease risk, increase trust. And so in this showcase step, what we're doing is specifically creating scenarios where you're almost like creating these micro discovery offers, right? You're creating ways for you to use your expertise in a way that it can be felt and experienced, and that will increase the demand and the desire for the work that you do. Okay? So that is an element of showcase. For instance, me doing this podcast is an element of showcase, because what I hopefully am doing, my hope, my goal, my mission, is to allow you to get a feel and a sense of what it would be like to work together, the type of information and the knowledge you would be able to experience. And my goal with the podcast is to help you experience an outcome, a positive outcome in your business and in your journey, so that then there is a certain level of trust that I'm hopefully building through our connection here, that you're getting to know me a little bit better, that you know more about my life and my core beliefs and how I view the world. All of those things are important in terms of showcasing your expertise. And so that is step 2, is that we need to move from the education step to then being able to showcase our expertise and allowing people to feel that impact. Now, number 3, the third step is connection or connect. And this is key, especially if you want to shorten the sales cycle. When you create opportunities for connection, what you're doing is you are building an intimate space for people to be able to reach you, to connect with you, to ask you questions, to be able to facilitate a change or some type of improvement that can really shift the trajectory in terms of the relationship that you're building. And it allows you to really build a level of intimacy in that business relationship. And the connection piece is important. Oftentimes, this is where many clients, I'm gonna be honest, this is where many clients have a lot of difficulty. The connection piece can seem a little bit scary, right? It can seem like, why or how do I build a touch point or an opportunity for a connection that feels comfortable to me? Because many times with connection, we have to get out of our comfort zone a little bit. This is actually where you're going to have to create a space. You want the space to be something that supports you and your work. But oftentimes for you to make that connection, you're going to have to extend your hand first to your audience so that you can draw them in, so you can pull them closer to you and really be able to land them as a client. So connection is key. And what connection may look like is building in opportunities for a monthly Q&A session, depending upon what service you may have and the business that you may have and the service you may offer. It may be really thinking about how you're able to create an educational experience or workshop that is more personalized and transformative. Maybe it is a meet and greet or some other type of connection event, creating a space where you can connect more intimately with your audience, with potential clients. And this is important, like I said before, because this is the element, the connection piece is the element that helps to speed along the sales cycle. And so the quality of that connection event will make all the difference in the end with you being able to achieve your outcome in a shorter time frame. So that's the next step. Step 3 is connection. Now, number 4, after you've been able to go through the process of educating, showcasing your expertise, connecting with your audience, then you have to nurture. So 4 is nurture. Listen, nurturing is important. You have different types of buyers, right? You have buyers that are going to be quick to take action, that may only need to see, your offer once or twice, understand what you can provide, be able to deep dive into the list of the services or whatever features are included or deliverables are included, and they're good to go. But then you're going to have those clients that are going to be more thoughtful in their process. And especially if you are working in the B2B space, you're going to have to go through a number of different stakeholders in order to convince them to support and really gain buy-in from them to support your proposal to work with you. And so the fact that you have to do that is going to require you to nurture not just one individual, but you're going to have to nurture many. And so this whole element of nurture has to be a deliberate part of your strategy. And it needs to be something that you are focused on delivering in a way that's going to allow you to address all the concerns that your potential client may have, that allows you to walk into a proposal feeling confident and reassured that you're going to leave with a sale at the end. And so in this program, we walk through how you do that. And so then that leads you to the last step. Next step number 5, which is just sell. So sales actually become so much easier when you have gone through this process, because then sales is just a matter of you extending the offer. It's you're actually just extending the offer to help, and you're doing that clearly, direct, and actually fill the gap between where someone was initially and the gap to where they want to be in terms of their desire to move forward to work with you. So those are all elements that are part of that process that makes selling so much easier. Because then instead of you trying to pitch something completely cold to an audience and being afraid as to what questions you're going to field or whether or not they're going to be receptive and how it's going to turn out, you're actually selling to an intimate, well-connected audience that aligns with your core beliefs and core values. There's already a relationship there. And when there's already a relationship there, then selling is just so much easier. It's so much easier because you've built the human-to-human connection that allows you to more effectively sell. So using a high-value attraction strategy is beyond effective, especially in the consulting space, for you being able to land more clients and to build a stronger and more profitable business. Now, I walk you through kind of a little bit of what that looks like, but if you're interested in diving deeper into this and learning how to use this in your business and how to navigate the whole client journey from start to finish so that you're able to sell with more ease. And once again, this starts by having a good offer, a excellent offer that's well positioned to, help you move through this process. Then you're going to want to, once again, get on the list, the wait list right now for Position to Excel, or join, if you're listening to this at a later point in time, make sure that you are joining in and submitting your application for Position to Excel, because that is what we do. And it will make your journey a lot easier. Oh, so much easier. And that is always the goal. We're not trying to stress out. We're trying to make things easy. We're trying to simplify this. And then the great part about it is that you just repeat this process over and over and over again. And as you repeat it, as you improve it, as you really perfect it, the easier it gets. So it's just something that just continues to just work for you over time. It really does. And it sets you up to know how to do this again for other offers that you may create. So it pays for itself time and time again. It's just a wonderful way of thinking through the whole nurturing, relationship building, client attraction process, and really making it more effective for you in your business. So that is all today. I have been talking your head off lately because I'm just super excited. I always get so excited about talking about things like this. So I hope that this will be helpful for you and that you're able to, even if you don't choose to join Position to Excel, that you can use this information to think about how you're going to approach your sales process so that you can be more successful in 2023. I know, we still have I think they said it's like 61 days from the time I'm recording this episode to when we get to the new year, but it is going to be here before you know it. So I want you to be ready in order to make a huge push into your new level of entrepreneurship and growth. Okay, guys. Well, don't forget, if you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend. Make sure you share it with a friend. Leave your review on Apple Podcasts or rating on Spotify. I would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, we'll talk soon. Take care. Thank you for tuning in to the Black Girls Consult 2 podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to leave your review on Apple Podcasts, subscribe, and share it with a friend. We're on a mission to increase the success and longevity of women in consulting, and you can help us do that. Also, I'd love to hear from you, so let's connect at Dr. Angelina Davis on Instagram or LinkedIn. And don't forget to visit excelatconsulting.com for more information to support your consulting journey. Until next time, take care.